Hi everybody, welcome to the next episode of our podcast.
Name is still a work in progress.
Yeah,
but this is episode 2.
Woo! So, how's your life?
It's a very well question.
Yeah.
Very well, Wren, thank you.
How's your knee?
My knee, it's actually going really well. I've finally been cleared for driving. Woo! Only 5 months later, but we're there. But now it's just a big build up on the strength. That's where we're focusing that physio at the moment. But yeah, it's going good. I can walk normally-ish. How's life with you, Wren?
Yeah, it's going all right. Yeah, I mean, not much is happening outside of work. Volleyball is happening. So let's go Wickham Eagles. Woo woo. In fact, segue. I just made the team for Wickham Eagles, which is very cool. So that's going to be cool. Get to play in the BVA, the Berkshire Volleyball League, I think that is. Berkshire Volleyball Association, something like that. It's going to be quite fun. Yeah. Yeah.
I've got no knowledge of volleyball.
I'm not going to lie, I don't know what that stands for. I just know that it's associated with Volleyball England and it's volleyball and that's all I care about. Yeah, so my sporting background is kind of, it starts with football really. So I played football at secondary school. Yeah, I started as a goalkeeper, funnily enough, and I was the shortest on the team, which, yeah, a bit interesting given that I was like half the size of the height of the goal, so I couldn't even reach. Just
Did you reach it if you jumped?
No. So the other teams wiped that out very quickly, and they took me out of goal very quickly because we realised that the other teams could just shoot the ball over my head. Yeah. So then I played right back, which is, yeah, and then came here, joined the football team here, and I play centre back now, which is nice. It's good fun. A lot of running though. Not a huge fan of running, but it's fine. But my main sport is volleyball, as you can tell from the Wickham Eagles volleyball. Whoop, whoop, shout out. I play for our uni team. I have played for our uni team for the past 3 years, and I play libero, so special position.
So for all the people that don't know what volleyball is.
Okay, so for people who don't know volleyball, there are a number of positions. I play libero, which is a defensive specialist. So I don't go anywhere near the net. So when you play volleyball, you've got obviously the court, 2 halves.
Yeah.
You've got the net here. You've got the front row who play near the net, and then the back row who don't play near the net. Yeah?
Yeah.
I play in the back row only, so I never tend to go near the net unless I'm trying to save a ball. Yeah. So I spend a lot of my time on the floor. Yeah. So I have a lot of bruises from doing that, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. And the crowd's reaction when you pick up a ball that everyone thinks is lost is the best thing ever.
Oh, it's superb.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's kind of like my sporting thing, really. Volleyball, football. Yeah. How about you?
So mine's actually quite a funny story. And I mean that in the sense of I started off with football. It's always been a big passion of mine. I come from a big sporting family. And however, I love playing sports. I just don't have like the stability, if you can call it that, like the strength in my joints and things like that to do it. Like with being hypermobile, like I have a large range of movement. So to me, it feels completely natural. But in a situation of whether it's like going for a tackle in football, getting the ball, if we're both going for a ball and we're both going like that, I'm more likely to hyperextend my knee and do it. Like I suffer a lot with like partial dislocations, like never a full dislocation, thankfully. But like soft tissue numbness is very common. Pulled muscles, tendons, all of that that's very common for me. So when I reached the age about, when did I stop playing? About 14, about 13, 14, I stopped playing like almost altogether just because it just wasn't worth the risk as such, which is actually really hard hitting because I really miss playing my sport. But I was a very passionate runner. Football, I played netball when I was at secondary school. I was a goalkeeper purely because this is when I did my first like big knee injury. It was the least movable position on the pitch, but I still to be involved. I did hockey in like primary school, played that up to like year 6. I must have been like what? Like 11? Mm-hmm. No, 12,
I didn't realise we were doing full history of sport. I should have gone way back.
Basically, any sport, I was almost always there. Like, I must admit,
That's awesome,
like racket sports, are just I can't vibe with those. Like,
That's interesting.
purely because I just stand there and just whack it as far as I can, and that's not the point of the game.
It is in rounders.
Yeah, but I like the running aspect of rounders, not so
Okay,
much the hitting.
Yeah.
You know those fielders that always stood like really far back so people that could really hit it?
Yeah.
I started so far, like, Beth, you need to go further. No, it's fine. I didn't care if they scored points. I just wanted to run. But when I did my injuries, I had to stop the running aspect as such. So like with like running and stuff like that, I used to run the long distances. I used to be quite good at that. I got like a couple like cross country medals when I was younger.
Yeah.
And coming up over the ages, turning into sprinting because I couldn't do it. But like playing football, I was your winger, I was your CDM. I never played cam because I cannot shoot for anything. Absolutely not. You will not find me. If I'm at the top half of the pitch, I got bored and went for running.
I can't either. That's why they put me as far away from the opposite goal.
No, I just stand and hit. And so when I came to Bucks, I didn't join in a sports much, so that was I'm not playing because I don't get an injured thing, but joining football, a bit accidentally, was quite funny. Very glad I stuck around for that. Because I remember going in and Jeb was like, oh, so where do you play? Like, thanks for coming down today, but where do you play? I'm like, well, I used to play like in the middle, like just put me anywhere that can run. But obviously I gave the preface, like I haven't played in years because of my knees. And she goes, oh, it's okay, we've got someone else that does it. So started off there, someone came off, I then dropped down to right back. And one thing should be said to me, like, I will happily go on an adventure playing football. And by that I mean I will take the ball and just run.
Because we're such a small uni, obviously our athletic union is quite small as well. But it's...
How many clubs are there?
There are 14. I know that. I remember that. We have 14 teams. So, yeah, it's actually pretty decent for our size of uni. But it is definitely, because it's so small, it feels much more like a community. Yeah. It's good. Pretty much everybody knows everybody, which can be a bad thing, but here I think it's a good thing. Because it means you get that closest between the clubs. You get clubs collaborating, having fun social nights out together. Flashbacks. Yeah. So, yeah, we've got volleyball, we've got football.
There's hockey, there is
rugby.
Netball.
Badminton.
Swimming.
Yeah. Dance. We've got a lot of dance teams. They're very good. Got cheer as well. We're definitely missing some.
Basketball.
Their basketball teams are good.
Anymore, do we?
No, we don't have tennis. We could have tennis though.
Could have tennis. Do you want to set up a club?
I would totally join the tennis team if we had a tennis team.
You know that kid in school that wasn't allowed to play tennis because
Yeah. You were that kid.
I was that kid, and it wasn't even intentional half the time. It's just some people just wouldn't play properly.
Oh, sorry. We've got cricket as well.
Cricket.
Yeah, cricket's new this year, I believe, actually.
I thought we had one last year.
Did we have cricket last year?
And they said obviously it's only because of the summer, so they only do it in the second half of the year.
Yeah.
It's more of a summer sport.
Yeah. And we've got a futsal team as well.
So, obviously, men and women's teams are both variant as
Yeah.
well with all these sports.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But with our sport comes varsity. Love varsity.
it's great.
Biggest sporting event of the year. Happens at the end of the year.
Yep, usually in March
Yes.
time.
It is usually March time. Varsity is a full day of sport. We play against Roehampton University. It's basically just a massive sports day.
It's great.
Isn't it? It's brilliant.
everyone's
fixtures constantly.
There's always something to be involved with, whether it is, again, just finding the next match, whether it is football, volleyball, netball, rugby, basketball, just kind of finding the different sort of paths into hockey. Yeah, just so much to get involved with, even as a spectator. And there's just ways to be involved, whether you can like make a banner for varsity or just stand on the sideline and shout.
The supporters are always the best when it comes to, like, varsity would not be varsity without the supporters there.
No.
Like, the best volleyball game that I played was absolutely this past varsity game, just because the supporters were the second one, obviously. But the supporters were just there for you, and it's brilliant.
I remember that.
Yeah, and and obviously you get so students can they get paid for filming as well, don't they?
Some students do, so like the film students get involved.
Some students can get involved filming.
Some part of their portfolio as well.
Yeah.
And like the clubs love it as well because they can use some of that footage for their own promos and things like that. Like I know football have used quite a lot of it from.
And same with the
another
photographs.
film that was yourself, wasn't it? Yeah. So
yeah,
that's
brilliant. Varsity is genuinely so good. And then
when you
AU
win
as
it.
well.
Oh, AU dinner's great.
AU dinner's a vibe.
It was great fun. Like even though I was on crutches this year, it was brilliant. Everyone was really good. Like obviously because that game was played on the day of AU, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Because I remember being stood behind. I stood behind because Keisha. So she was explaining the rules to me of volleyball because I had no idea what was really going on. Like I'm all there for sport, any sport.
We're sports.
Literally. But I know enough to get me through games, but I have no idea what's going on half the time. So she was explaining everything, and the ball came flying at us, and obviously I'm in a full leg brace with crutches. I can't move anywhere. And like if it wasn't for like them sitting in front of me, I was like getting hit with this volleyball. I was terrified, but I was also so excited. Being at Bucks with Sports is great because obviously there's no membership fee. You just join for free.
I'm not going to lie, I joined this uni and I didn't realise that the sport would be free. And then suddenly they're like, oh yeah, have you joined this sport? Have you joined us at Freshers Fair? Have you joined us? I'm like, I don't know if I can afford it. And they're stood there like, nah, free mate. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I tried everything.
Yeah, and like that's a good thing like with the big deal, like being such an integral part of Bucks SU.
Yeah.
Because it gives us so many opportunities to try different things. Like
absolutely.
I wasn't a notorious hockey player. Give me a stick, I can run around. I know where the goal is. I know what not to do. Don't try and kick a hockey ball by the way in the middle of the pitch. I did that once this year. It's quite funny, but last year. And I don't think I'd have the chance to be that super sub, as I like to call myself. Like that's what the hockey girls call me as well. Or some of them, just to run around to get an extra player, and it's quite nice for having that chance to try something that you wouldn't necessarily be appealed to if you've been like with a cost.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. It is brilliant. Like the fact that we can play sport, we can try a sport, join a society, whatever. Play games, play like in proper like Bucks games, and not have to pay a single thing is just awesome. Yeah, it's genuinely so cool. Big up the big deal.
Woo! It is a big deal.
It is absolutely a big deal.
It is a big deal. But like even like wearing like the kits and stuff like that. Like obviously I never really like. Whilst I did play hockey before I played football, I felt much more pride and like enjoyment by putting on a Bucks shirt.
Yeah, you suddenly feel part of something, don't you?
And that's it.
It's like that pride, like, hell yeah, I'm here, I'm doing this thing, we're going to win this. It's, Yeah,
it's just nice having that environment that you might not have played for years, you might not have ever played at all, and like no one's upset with you because we're all trying things, we're all into a new environment, and it is just so, like, what's the word? Like there's that opportunity just to give things a go, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. But like there's not that sense of contract of like you've signed up for the year now. You've like just come and go as you please. Like obviously with the sport for fun sessions as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like you can just join in.
you can just drop in whenever. Yeah.
And like it's so good as well because you're not tied down to that constraint of like you don't have to compete if you don't want to. But like
you don't have to be good either. Like you can just walk in and be like, hey, can you teach me how to play? And there's guaranteed there's going to be somebody there at that sport for fun session who's going to be like, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's just fun.
Yeah. And
good.
everyone here is passionate about the sport that they do as well.
Absolutely.
Like you're not going to find somebody doing a sport that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Everybody in that sport, whether it's a for fun session or a competitive session, they're going to be there because they want to be there.
Yeah.
And it's
great.
it's brilliant.
So that is sports at Bucks. There's so much to be involved in and enjoy. Enjoy every second of it we can get involved with. We enjoy it.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, that is podcast episode 2. Done.
Boom!
Sports.
Woo sports.